Hey guys, you're watching the Video Game Masters, and this is Mark Rodriguez.
And Paige. And I have to say one thing. What's with your outfit? Are you trying to be like a little safety cone or something?
No, I'm not being a safety cone or
And what's
anything.
with your face?
Well, let me just explain that. Well, this time we're going to go all out because we're going to talk about Dragonball Z, Battle of Z that was recently released. And as I just, dressed up for the part. And as you know, when I used to shave myself bald in the old days for the anime.
Won't let him?
Yes, for the anime cons.
I used to right here.
I used to go as Krillin for the cons, and then when I had my hair kind of grow back in a little because I didn't want to shave it anymore.
Which is my fault.
Yes. People thought that was Goku, even though I don't know why, because it wasn't spiky or anything, but they called me Goku. But now that I got this wild, wacky hair here, I can be Yamcha. Isn't that awesome?
No. I'll just stop you there. Krillin is much cooler than Yamcha. Yamcha is lame, and he is a loser. I'll give him credit for not dying as much as Krillin. How many times did Krillin die? He died again. He died again. But Yamcha never wins his fights. He's a loser, and I'll just stick to that.
Yes, well, he at least won maybe once or twice in Dragon Ball.
Sure. You're just probably making it up.
Okay.
Now show me those episodes.
We'll do that after the show. But anyways, back on topic here. Today we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Is it worth checking out? Let's have a look.
Careful now. I'm not nearly as nice as I was before. Now,
Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z came out in January 2014 for both the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. It's not your typical DBZ fighting game. This game has team battles in a free roaming world. The game follows a famous storyline from the anime and manga, but it is most notable for having characters from the latest DBZ movie, Battle of the Gods.
The game's control setup lets the characters dash, ascend and descend in the sky, toss their key attacks, and use a chase attack to follow up on combos. You can also lock onto one enemy or choose from several and take the fight to them. You can also shoot your key attacks, and when you fill the Genki bar high enough, you can unleash a huge super energy blast attack, which for most characters is the Kamehameha. Fighting in teams also let the characters heal or revive their fallen teammates.
There are over 70 characters to unlock, though they are all from the Dragon Ball Z series. Besides the usual characters like Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, and Broly, the game also lets you play the characters Bill and Whis from the Battle of Gods, as well as Goku in Super Saiyan God form. The Day 1 DLC lets the people choose Super Vegito, Super Saiyan Bardock, and Goku dressed as Naruto.
There are 4 major character types in the game. The fighting types are good at close combat like Goku and Future Trunks. Key Blast types specialize at long distance and multiple key attacks like Piccolo and Frieza. Support types are good at healing themselves and others like Kid Gohan and Krillin, and interference types have moves that can interfere with other opponents' attacks using moves like the Taioken, or if you want to call it the Solar Flare, like Tenshinhan and Guldo. You can also earn cards that you can use to customize your characters to make them even more powerful in certain areas. The game also tosses giant bosses at you like Hildegon and the Ozaru versions of Vegeta and Gohan.
The single-player mode is the main story of the game as you relive the Saiyan, Frieza, Android, Cell, and the Buu sagas. The events are followed loosely in the game as you fight in teams instead of one-on-one, and it allows you to pick characters that either weren't around or were dead during that particular part of the series. Some side missions let you play as the bad guys to see it from their perspective, like using Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz to fight the Z fighters. Other missions involve trying to kill as many Cybermen as possible. Some missions have a time limit, and you have to defeat several powerful enemies before time runs out, and others give you a limited amount of retries before you fail the mission.
The co-op battles are where the real fun comes in. The Shin Battle mode is up to 4 players help each other complete the missions from the single-player mode. The Battle Royale mode is up to 8 players fight it out in several different scenarios. The normal battle is a 4-on-4 battle in which the first team that runs out of retries loses. The score battle is also 4-on-4, and the team that scores the most knockouts when time runs out wins. The Battle Royale is an 8-player free-for-all. Whoever scores the most knockouts wins. There can only be one. And Dragon Ball Grab is also 4-on-4, and the first team to either score the most knockouts or find all 7 Dragon Balls wins. The only downside to multiplayer is that you can't really do it on the same system, so you can't play versus the guy who's sitting right next to you. You can only do it online. This is mostly done to avoid using split screens and to keep the most detail on the graphics and gameplay as possible. Oh man, these stupid modern games. I don't want to play against you. Now what do we do?
Well, I do have one idea. Hold on. Can you hear me, Mark?
You're coming in loud and clear, Paige.
Well, Mark, get ready to lose.
Bring it on! And now, what did we think of the game? I'll play you for it.
Okay?
Rock, paper, scissors, go! Oh man, I lost!
Just like Yamcha.
Okay, you go first.
How?
Here's my opinion of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Well, originally we were going to buy the game, but we just ended up renting the game. The controls of the game, at first they were a little hard to get used to, but then after playing it for a little bit, you start getting used to it, and it becomes more natural for you. Comparing to the old Budokai game to the Battle of Z game, it is different. I can't really say too much about the old games because I only played one of the Budokai games once, but it is different. The original game is, I don't know if it's free roaming or not, but this new game is more free roaming. You target, you have to move the camera, all that fun stuff. So if you're used to more of the Budokai game, you're hoping it's more like the Budokai game, then just rent it just in case before going out and buying it if you like it or not. But if you like the new, more free roaming fighting games, and you're a big fan of the Dragon Ball Z series, I would recommend it for sure. Some missions drove me nuts, but I did have fun playing it. But I still probably won't buy it. Honestly, maybe when it gets cheaper, yes, I will buy it. The one thing I really don't like about it is because Mark and I want to play against each other for like one of my Versus series, but multiplayer is not there. You have to do it online. It's an online multiplayer. I guess they don't want to do like the whole split screen thing. Like I said, I recommend it for the Dragon Ball Z fan, but if you're hoping it's like the old version, then sorry to break your heart, but it's a little bit different.
Now, what do I think of the game? Well, I think the game's a lot of fun. It's kind of a mixed bag for me, kind of, sort of. I do enjoy the game, but I can't really say I really love it. I guess it's just not my kind of game. It's kind of hard for me to get into. And, well, Paige got into it a lot faster and a lot easier than I did and everything. It's like more her kind of game. And, well, I guess the fan base itself is kind of divided in the middle with this particular game. A lot of people either love it and embrace it, and this is also like a different kind of Dragon Ball Z game, a more open world, multi-battle player, whatever you want to call it. And the other half is kind of divided because they're disappointed that it wasn't a more traditional fighting game, that didn't play like Budokai or whatever. I mean, I guess I wanted like a more kind of different version of the traditional fighting game, but not this different. This is just different, and I mean, I can't even see what the hell's going on when I'm playing against all the other online opponents, And as for the game, it does remind me a lot of Dragon Ball Z Legends from the PlayStation version, the old Japanese one that was never released to the American version. It's kind of the same thing. It's still like the teams fighting each other. The only difference, of course, is that here you actually have more moves, more control. You can actually have players act out all 4 characters, where in the old PS version, you're just using the main character and the teammates are all computer controlled. And it's a shame it was never released to the States, I have to say. But back to this game, though, I guess my major complaints are the one-player mode. I hate the whole one that's a time limit, and you're trying to fight the boss and everything within the time limit, because most of the time they're either running away from you, and you're wasting your time trying to get them or chase them. And then they also throw their henchmen at you, so you're trying to lock onto Frieza, for example, but I locked onto his henchman instead. I have to kill him first. And it's like, dude, get out of my way. Just let me kill Frieza. And then Frieza, of course, transforms, which of course he does in the anime, but then the time clock does not reset. You still gotta kill this new version of Frieza within that same time limit. So that just limits everything. It does get frustrating and annoying. I do gotta say, it's good graphics though, good music. I love the Kai voice acting, you know, from newer Dragonball Z Kai voice cast. And I do like that you can also switch between the Japanese and the English voices, because I just love the original Japanese voices. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good game. Not my favorite. I do understand, and you guys do have to understand too. If you're gonna buy this game, understand it is not a traditional fighting game. It does not play like that. And I think one of the things also disappointed me was the fact of the whole two-player thing. I would have loved this a whole lot more if I could have played like between me and Paige, and then like all the other people online. It did kind of suck that it is inessential a one-player game if you want to play with your brother, your friend, etc. There's only multiplayer in the whole online, you know, grand scheme of things. But I don't know. I just like games where you can play against your friend and online, not one or the other. One last thing I want to add is, of course, the fact that this game does have the newer characters that came out in the Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods movie. And we still haven't heard any word about Funimation dubbing it or bringing it over. I mean, come on, guys. This movie came out...
over.
Yeah, it came out, like, last year already. It's not a big surprise or a big secret. I'm sure all the fans that bought this game know who they are. They're not confused as to who these characters are or anything. I mean, come on, guys. The movie even had a reference to Vegeta's brother that came out in an anniversary special that also still hasn't been dubbed or released or nothing. So it's like, what's the hold up, Funimation? At least give us an announcement. I mean, do I have to make a rant video about...
No, hold on. Stop right there. No rant videos. I can't stand your screaming. You even woke up the neighbor one time.
I can't believe it did this to us again, guys. I mean, I expect this kind of crap from Capcom, but not from NetherRealm. I mean, we did it with the Mortal Kombat game, but now they did it again with Injustice. Now they got the Injustice Ultimate Edition for $60. I mean, what about the people that bought the original version for $60 and then paid extra money for the season's passes and then paid even more money for the DLC that came after that? I mean, come on, this is bullshit!
Shut up, I gotta go to work in the morning!
Okay, I won't do a rant video about it.
Thank God. Yeah. I don't know how many times you say the F-bomb in each sentence.
Yes. Anyways, that wraps up this episode of Video Game Masters. As always, I'm Mark Rodriguez.
Paige.
And thanks for watching.
See you next time. What are you doing?
Just, you know, for the show, just extra stuff, you know?
You got something right here.
Yeah, it's drawn for the show, okay?
That's a little too much.